Kees, tell us a little bit about Hendor a little bit for those who may not know all that you all do.
Yeah. Well, Tim, Hendor is a family company here in the Netherlands. Um, we are manufacturing pumps and filter systems originally just for the plating industry, but over the time we've evolved into, let's say, the whole surface finishing industry and some neighboring chemical applications, not particularly always surface industry, but usually related to the surface finishing industry. Hendor is celebrating 75 years anniversary this year, so we're already in business for
Congratulations.
quite a while, quite
Hmm.
successfully as well, growing year after year. Manufacturing is actually done in-house from and starts from purchasing materials all the way through milling, machining, and so on. Injection molding in-house, manufacturing parts which are stored in stock and then assembled on demand. So if anything is ordered, we'll tailor to demand of the customer with the parts that we have in stock, with many options to, well, as I said, to tailor the final product to demand of the customer.
Right, right. You all have you have some location or a location I know in the U.S. right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that services North America. How
exactly.
long have you all been in the North American market here now?
If I'm correct, because the North American entity is older than I've been working for Hender. If I'm correct, it has been founded in 1993. Initially privately owned by one owner, and since 2021, it's in shared ownership of Hender and PE. PE being a German rectifier manufacturer, also family company, and their let's say their character fit us very well. So all over the world you'll find Hender and PE working together, distributing the products and supporting products in the market.
Right. Yeah. And our audience should probably recognize, I know you all are always at the annual trade show of the finishing operation
Yes, we
there, the
are.
Hinder
Yeah,
PE.
yeah.
Yeah. So they probably have walked by and seen their pumps, but and their systems. But today, let's talk about the HE filter system. I know it's new technology and it really
Yep.
does a lot of, when you talk about, using less energy and using less resources, it's really what this equipment was designed to do for these facilities, correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump back a little while
Hmm.
to the company. I said it was a family company, third
Hmm.
generation at the moment, and we're heading for the fourth generation.
Wow.
So one of the slogans internally used was "Prepare for the next generation,"
Mm.
and that meant originally just management, but with, let's say, environmental pressure getting more and more, pressure on the environment by industry, by the human population in general, it got a little bit more broad. The idea was, let's work together to support the industry in becoming more environmentally friendly, consuming less resources, putting out less waste, putting less footprint on this earth by our industry. And besides some other factors like manufacturing costs, also competitive pricing and so on in the market, we wanted to, let's say, come with a completely new designed set of filter systems, both cartridge as well as disc filters for the market. The aim was, on the one hand, to maintain our green manufacturing process, meaning that we are fully solar powered already for over 10 years now. Also, the products that we manufacture are meant to last. So, on average, our products are in service for about 15 years. But I was surprised myself as I started working for Hender to get spare part requests, inquiries for systems that were even over 13 years old. We're just talking about polypropylene and PVDF systems, and nevertheless, although a relatively common and assumed cheap material, if you take quality materials, quality versions of that material in a good design, it actually lasts for really long time. So that's about the production process. But what's becoming more and more important, and I realized that in the US it might be less significant compared to Europe. Energy pricing is a very hard rock to beat over here. As I said, a little bit less in the US. At the same time, of course, you see in many states now that also CO2 footprint becomes more and more important because of global warming. So our general statement is let's support the industry, greening the surface finishing industry by consuming less energy, by consuming less raw materials. On the one hand, by saving materials during the production process. On the other hand, by making materials or making the products in good materials that last long and with a design that's really built to last. On the one hand. And then on the other hand, and that doesn't sound really something special, but make the systems energy efficient. And if I tell you that, for instance, in spring this year, we introduced a new series of Mac drive pumps, and that's in the larger volume. And sorry for my European standards. Starting at 22 cubic meters an hour till 45 cubic meters an hour, we were able to save at least 26% energy consumption on just the hydraulic efficiency of the pump.
Wow.
So this is an example, but also in the filter systems themselves. In most filter systems, lots of energy is lost by having non-optimized hydrodynamics inside. And what that means is that if any fluid flowing at high velocity, the higher the velocity it flows, the more energy it will lose due to shear forces against piping, against the walls of the filter chamber. So we brought down velocity in many cases, but also optimized the shape of the build, the internal parts. And that means solution is just flowing smoothly along the walls. There's no hard corners to bump into or any obstacles to bump into. And we were able to optimize hydraulic efficiency between 35 and in some systems even up to 65%. So what does it mean in practice? And again, European standards, so I'm talking about kilowatts rather than horsepower, but at the same time it converts proportional. In many cases, we've been able to introduce a motor size smaller. I'll give you an example: 22 cubic meter pump. It's now 1.1 kilowatt, where it used to be 1.5 kilowatt. The 30 cubic meter pump is 1.5 kilowatt, where it used to be 2.2 or 3 kilowatts, depending on solution. So what does it mean? Back in Europe, 1 kilowatt year, which is 24/7, 365, 1 kilowatt costs about $1,000 every year for one pump. So if you can save 1 kilowatt hour, it saves you $1,000 of energy cost annually. So if it's 2 kilowatts, of course it doubles. If you got 2 pumps, it also doubles again. So this really does help to save a lot of energy. So if it's all about CO2 savings, it's a big step forward. If you look more in European perspective, it's also cost-wise, and you can see that pumps and filtration usually would cost around, let's say, between 15 and 25% of the energy cost of a surface finishing line, talking about anodizing, plating. So if you can cut down by even when it's just 15 or 20%, it's still significant money that you're saving in your production cost.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say energy costs are really high here in the States. I know that people in the Northeast it's one of their biggest costs to run their operation is the energy, water costs, waste costs, things like that. And that's really, I think, what your products are engineered for. A lot of people, users may not think about a highly engineered piece of machinery, but that's really what you all are going for, both. And I think that's what the end users here at some of these facilities who may not have thought about that they can get a higher efficiency,
Yeah,
less energy, and then less waste and things like that. So it
absolutely,
really,
absolutely.
that engineering really comes into play for them, right?
Yeah, hey, and to support that, in case that you buy a high efficient pump or filter system, it's also important to make sure that it's connected in the proper way. So as I said before, we did a lot of engineering on optimizing the hydrodynamic efficiency of the pumps, but also of the filter chambers, not to lose too much energy from the chamber itself. So systematic pressure losses. If you connect them to the wrong piping, then of course you'll lose the efficiency still in the piping. So even there, we generally support the customer when buying from us in designing the right or taking the right diameter piping, and also to help think at reducing the friction, the flow friction in the system, because also there is a lot to lose if you're not aware of that. And this is basically also how Hendor works. We, of course, we are a supplier, but we also want to be a partner to our customers. Whether you're an independent plater, a small middle-sized plating shop, or if you're one of the largest plating equipment manufacturers, still we work together to make sure that the products we're proud of also can work in the way that we want them to work.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about. Was when you talked about the hydrodynamics and how that equated to energy savings, and you've explained that very well, and I wasn't even really aware of that. And also, the much improved flow, like I said, between 25 to 36% better flow. And I know that you all have designed the inlets have been redesigned. I know
Yeah,
the bottom plates and those type of things.
yeah.
It seems like you all are really committed to continuing better engineer these products.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I said before, it's our 75th anniversary this year. Starting really with very basic products. It was the
Hmm.
leftover materials from aircraft manufacturing after the Second World War, 1948.
Mm.
Acrylic glass. That was a simple material, chemical resistant and easy to mill to work with.
Mm.
And we work together with, and I presume it's also a well-known brand in the US, formerly known because of its radios, transistor radios, and incandescent bulbs, brand Philips. So we kind
Oh
of
yeah.
grew up together with them starting in 1948. And gradually expanded on the rest of the plating and printed circuit board market. But that's where we came from, and by regular re-evaluation of the systems with respect to durability, um, but also efficiency and reliability. Every so many years, there's a new generation of pumps and filter chambers. And
Mm.
every time there's new things to do, new inventions to be made, improving the systems step by step to the point where we are now.
Mm.
Of course, in recent years, we've been able to also use computer-aided design to calculate flow patterns and to optimize the design internally to have the best possible hydrodynamics inside.
Mm. Yeah, I was going to say one thing I saw when I was looking at your website is really three things that you all really, I think, preach or talk about a lot is quality, well-made machines, durability, they're going to work, and then like you said, that the kind of the new, that's especially in the U.S. here is sustainability, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is to really, the natural resources that we're using, electricity, water, all those things, and then again, sending less waste out is really crucial. And it really seems that that's what you all have taken into consideration with these systems.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, and if it's not for the environment, if it's not about say sustainability, anything you don't have to replace or don't have to throw away, you don't have to buy new. So in whatever way you look at it, if it's sustainability, it works. If you look at it in cost and expenses, it works as well. Particularly if you look at the cost, we usually take the iceberg model where you can only see the tip of the iceberg floating above the water level. And this is basically your initial investment, where you look at, well, I was just saying, in energy costs are about $1,000 per kilowatt year, where $1,000, it won't buy you a filter system. But even if it's let's say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, if it's five are the more bigger systems, if you can save, even though you save only $500 a year in 10 years, and then it's a long period, in 10 years time, you got a full payback against older systems or whatsoever. And from then on, it keeps on counting down. Of course, it's going to save you money time after time after time. That's on the electric.
And be a more efficient product that they've got, and that's the bigger one, right? Correct.
Absolutely.
Reliability. That's what I hear from a lot of the shops here is, they can't have downtime. They need reliability.
Absolutely.
And like you said, all the bonuses that come with that of eventually saving money on that adds up.
Reliability. It's good that you address that. It's really a very important factor. I'm a plating engineer myself. I used to work for a chemical supplier for 25 years. So I've seen the whole printed circuit board market. I've seen the whole general metal finishing market, from zinc plating to high quality plating on plastics. I've done it all, and filtration has been has been neglected. If you had problems, there was some noisy equipment in the corner, and you told your customer, make sure that it works, so we'll have good plating. Now I'm working in filtration and pumps. I realize much more than before how important reliability actually is, because well, if you have a relatively simple plating line, you'll probably have 4 or 5 filter systems. Every time one breaks down, your line is down. But think about, for instance, reel-to-reel strip plating, where often lines have 50, 75, or even 100 pumps or filter systems inside. You can't have one breakdown every second day, because every time one breaks down, it's downtime. And probably the people watching this video know much better than I what any minute of downtime costs. So preventing that is really the most efficient way of saving costs at all.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You can't recoup that. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. You'll do that. People who want more information, they go to Hendor, HENDOR.com. Your website. I know you got lots of great information on there, and they can kind of look at that. And I know a lot of shops that I've been talking to over the past couple months, they're really looking to better, upgrade their systems. I know we did a survey, I think back in January, February, where we had 83% of most shops really were setting aside some capital improvement money to improve some of the either motors or pumps or things like that they really, really need, that again, to get that reliability and to get that efficiency they need. But they can go to Hendor.com to get more information. And again, I really appreciate you taking time out and really explaining what this machinery does. It really seems like it's very efficient, and it's something that most shops should really take a look at to see how it can help them. Right.
Absolutely, Tim. So I also want to thank you for giving me the platform to express all the, well, let's say, advantages of Hendor products. At the same time, I also like to say that on our website, besides an overview of the products and let's say an overview over what our company is, there's also various contacts for various ways of contacting us. By email, whether it's for service or general information. And I particularly want to say we're also ready to answer more of your questions. As said before, I'm not just a filter and pump sales guy. I'm an experienced plating engineer, and I can support in many ways in that respect. And so are all the dealers around the world. Ready to support our customers and partners.